Navel orange. One of the most recognized fruits in the world, the navel orange gets its name from the small, belly button-like formation at its blossom end. It originated as a mutation discovered in a Brazilian monastery in the early 1800s, and every navel orange tree alive today is a descendant of that single tree, propagated entirely through cuttings. It contains no seeds, which makes it easy to eat, and its thick skin peels away without much effort. The flavor sits in a reliable balance between sweet and tangy, which is a large part of why it became the standard orange in grocery stores across the world. Lemon. Likely a hybrid of citron and sour orange, the lemon has been cultivated for over 1,000 years and spread across the Mediterranean through Arab trade routes before reaching the rest of the world. Its high acidity comes from citric acid, which makes it rarely eaten on its own, but almost universally used in cooking, baking, and drinks. The juice brightens savory dishes, balances sweetness in desserts, and preserves the color of cut fruits. Few fruits have as wide a reach across cuisines as the lemon, appearing in everything from Moroccan tagines to American lemon meringue pie. Lime. Smaller and sharper than the lemon, the lime thrives in tropical climates and became a cornerstone of cuisines across Southeast Asia, Latin America, and the Caribbean. British sailors were once given lime juice to prevent scurvy on long voyages, which is where the slang term limey for British people originates. There are several varieties, with the Persian lime being the most common in supermarkets, and the smaller key lime having its own devoted following, particularly in Florida, where it gives its name to a well-known dessert. The flavor is more aromatic and distinctly floral compared to lemon, which makes the two interchangeable in some recipes, but irreplaceable in others. Grapefruit. A relatively young fruit in citrus history, the grapefruit was first documented in Barbados in the 18th century and is believed to be a natural hybrid of the sweet orange and the pomelo. It grows in clusters on the tree, which is thought to be the origin of its name. The flesh ranges from pale yellow to deep red, and the red varieties tend to be sweeter. Grapefruit has a distinctive bitterness from a compound called naringin, and this same compound is responsible for its well-known interaction with certain medications, which can cause those drugs to become dangerously concentrated in the bloodstream. Mandarin. One of the oldest cultivated citrus fruits, the mandarin originates from ancient China and has been grown there for over 3,000 years. It is smaller than a common orange, easy to peel, and naturally divided into segments that separate cleanly. The skin is loosely attached, which makes it one of the most convenient citrus fruits to eat without any tools. Mandarins spread westward along trade routes and eventually gave rise to many of the hybrid varieties people eat today. In much of Asia, they carry cultural significance, particularly during the Lunar New Year, where they are exchanged as symbols of good fortune. Clementine. A cross between a mandarin and a sweet orange, the clementine is seedless, easy to peel, and consistently sweet, with very little of the bitterness found in other citrus. It was likely first cultivated in Algeria in the late 19th century, possibly by a French missionary named Father Clément Rodier, which is where the name is believed to come from. Clementines became widely popular in Europe and North America, largely because of their convenience and mild flavor, making them a common choice for children. They are often sold in small net bags during winter months and are closely associated with the holiday season in many Western countries. Pomelo. The largest of all citrus fruits, the pomelo is native to Southeast Asia and is considered one of the original citrus species from which many modern varieties descend. A single fruit can weigh several pounds and grow to the size of a small melon. Beneath its thick, pithy rind is flesh that ranges from pale yellow to pink, with a flavor that is milder and less acidic than grapefruit, which it resembles in some ways. The pith, though bitter, is sometimes candied and eaten in parts of Asia. In China, and across much of East and Southeast Asia, the pomelo holds cultural importance and appears regularly during harvest festivals and family gatherings. Blood orange. Named for the deep crimson color of its flesh, the blood orange owes its striking appearance to anthocyanins, which are pigments that develop in response to cold temperatures during the growing season. It is most commonly grown in Sicily, Spain, and California, with the Sicilian varieties considered among the finest in the world. The flavor is more complex than a standard orange, carrying berry-like and raspberry undertones alongside the expected citrus brightness. Blood oranges have become particularly popular in modern cooking and cocktail culture because of their visual appeal and their slightly richer, more layered taste. Yuzu. Originating in central China and widely cultivated in Japan and Korea, yuzu is a small, uneven-looking citrus fruit that has gained significant international attention over the past 2 decades. The fruit is rarely eaten on its own because of its intense tartness and seed-heavy interior, but the zest and juice are prized for their incredibly aromatic quality. The scent is floral and complex, somewhere between lemon, grapefruit, and mandarin, and in Japanese cuisine, it appears in everything from ponzu sauce to hot baths during the winter solstice. Chefs around the world have embraced it as a finishing flavor that adds brightness without simply tasting like lemon. Kumquat. Unlike virtually every other citrus fruit, the kumquat is eaten whole, skin and all. The peel is sweet, while the flesh inside is intensely tart, and biting into one delivers both sensations simultaneously in a way that surprises most first-time eaters. Kumquats are native to China and have been cultivated there for centuries, before spreading to Japan and eventually to Europe and the Americas. They are among the smallest citrus fruits, roughly the size and shape of a large olive. Because they are eaten whole and require no peeling, they are often served as a snack or garnish, and they are also commonly used to make preserves, marmalades, and liqueurs.